Hello friends, Joe here and welcome back. Today I'm going to teach you how to make these amazing buttermilk biscuits. They're not just delicious and scrumptious, but they're easy to make. Let's get to it. All right, so we're going to begin by preheating the oven at 425 degrees. Here I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to add a quarter of a baking soda. Then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay. And a teaspoon of salt. And go ahead and just mix it, whisk it, get it all incorporated. That should be good. And now I'm going to add a cup of cubed frozen butter, or I put it in the freezer for at least 20 minutes so that way it gets all really nice and cold. You want the butter as cold as possible. So this is a cup. And I'm using my wire pastry blender. You can use a fork or you can use your food processor. I like using this nice little tool here. And you're going to just smash it, kind of just cut in the butter into the flour, technical term. And you're gonna do this for probably a good 5 minutes. And you're gonna see that you're gonna see the dough, the flour is gonna turn into like a bunch of little pebbles, and that's what you want. Okay. So, got my flour and my butter pretty much blended. So you can see it's basically a bunch of like really tiny little pebbles, and that's exactly what you want. You don't want big chunks. And I can feel the flour. That's why you want to avoid touching the flour as much as possible, because you want to keep the butter cold, so it's still really cold. That's why this little handy tool, it's really important if you have one, if not the food processor. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and just make a little well in the middle, just like so. And then I have a 1 1/4 cup of buttermilk. I'm going to pour right in the middle. And with my spatula, I'm going to just slowly just mix it. You don't want to over mix your biscuit dough, but you also don't want to under mix your dough. So I'm going to just kind of turn it, kind of get it as wet as possible, most of the dry ingredients. It's going to be kind of crumbly and messy, and that's what you want. You don't want a big wet mess, but you also don't want a big dry mess either. Okay, just keep turning it. It's gonna be crumbly, that's normal. Okay. So it looks like most of my dry ingredients are together. So now what we want to do, be ready to get your hands really messy and sticky. And try not to touch it as much as possible, but it's kind of hard not to. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my dough into my pastry mat. These pastry mats are kind of handy, and they're actually really inexpensive. Okay, so put that here, and with your hands, you're going to now form a rectangular shape, just like so. Gonna just press it. A little flour top, because it's going to get stuck to your hands. It's a thirsty dough. Okay, so you want to keep doing this until you feel like you have one solid piece. Still a bit crumbly. So that looks about right to me. So now I'm going to fold it 3 times. So I'm going to go quarter of the way and then fold it again. So I'm going to go like so. And then I'm going to fold it this way. It's going to be a bit crumbly, but after the 3rd time, you'll see that it starts coming together. You'll get the hang of it. Put all the pieces together, all the crumbles. Try to keep it at that rectangular shape. Try to flatten it a little more. You should be able to see a bunch of little butter pieces. You want that. That's what's going to create that flaky crust and those layers. So we're going to go ahead and fold it over again. So we're going to do 1, like so, and 2. All right, then we're going to press it down, just like so. I told you it was messy, but it's totally worth it, I promise you. Okay. Just like so. I'm going to fold it over 1 more time. Okay. So now you're going to fold it like that. And fold it again. Right, so now I'm ready to just roll big rectangular shape. All right, I want to make sure that my little pieces are all together. So before I do that, I'm going to try to lift it. Okay, and just maybe put a little flour on the surface. Okay, then on the top. And I'm going to go ahead and flour my rolling pin. Okay. And you want 1/2 inch dough. It's close to 1/2 inch. Okay, I'm going to go this way. And then after this, I'm going to use a 2.5 inch pastry ring. That looks about right. It's pretty good to me. Okay. All right. All right. So now we're ready to cut the dough ring. So I have a baking sheet here with my little silicone baking so it doesn't stick. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my ring, and I'm going to put it here in my flour that I have here for dusting, and it'll make it nice and easy for them to come out. All right, perfect. Can I go all the way around? Try to get as close as possible. If you can roll the dough, it should be just fine. With the scraps, you can put them together and get a few more. Okay, so now I'm doing an egg wash. I'm gonna go ahead and egg wash them. So I was able to get 15. So I'm guessing you can probably do between 14 and 16, depending on what size ring you're using. So my egg wash is just an egg and a tablespoon of cream. Okay. And then before I egg wash them, I want to go ahead and just put with my thumb, I want to go ahead and push right in the middle, push them down like that, a little indentation. That kind of helps it kind of like fluff up right on the edges. Let me just do that like this. Just like that. Okay, now just egg washing. Perfect. Now we're gonna put them in the oven at 425 for 15 minutes or until golden brown. Oh my God. So the biscuits just came out of the oven like a minute ago. So now I'm just brushing just a little bit butter on top. You don't have to do that. You can skip this step, but look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Look at the little flaky layers, right? I like mine with honey butter. So I have a little honey butter here, which is just basically a half a cup of butter and a quarter cup of honey that I like. And I'm just gonna just put a little bit of mine because they smell amazing. I'm telling you, this, oh my God, let's try it. I'm not kidding. They're amazing. Look at this. Isn't that awesome? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Check out my other videos. But most importantly, treat yourself to a little goodness.